Behind every victory, every cheer, and every highlight reel lies a fighter's hidden reality. But what happens when that reality spirals into tragedy, crime, or even death? Number 1. War Machine's violent rampage. Once known for his raw talent inside the cage, War Machine, formerly John Copenhaver, was a rising star with a volatile edge. His explosive fighting style saw him compete under major promotions like the UFC and Bellator, earning fans drawn to his charisma and unfiltered personality. But that turbulent energy extended far beyond fight nights, hinting at a darkness he couldn't control. Behind the bravado, there were warning signs: bar fights, suspensions, and public outbursts that many brushed off as part of his bad boy image. Few imagined those red flags would spiral into something truly horrific. In 2014, the world learned just how deep that darkness ran when War Machine unleashed a brutal attack on his ex-girlfriend, adult actress Christy Mack, and her companion at the time, Corey Thomas. Mack later detailed the horrifying incident, describing how she was beaten, stomped, and assaulted over a prolonged and disturbing barrage of violence. The attack left her with 18 broken bones, a fractured rib, a ruptured liver, and injuries requiring surgery. Police arrested Copenhaver after a manhunt, stunned by the severity of his actions. The details of the assault were so graphic and traumatic that even seasoned investigators were left shaken.
During the trial, he offered no defense that excused such brutality. Found guilty on multiple felony counts, including kidnapping, he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 36 years. This wasn't just the fall of a fighter, it was a tragedy that derailed lives. War Machine's unchecked aggression shattered trust, health, and hope, proving that talent alone can't save someone from themselves. Number 2. BJ Penn's domestic abuse allegations. BJ Penn's name is etched in UFC history as one of the greatest fighters the sport has ever seen. Known for his prodigious talent, he became a 2-division champion and earned a place in the Hall of Fame with performances that showcased unparalleled technical skill and grit. Inside the cage, he was unstoppable at his peak, dismantling opponents with a rare blend of precision and heart. Yet, outside the octagon, a series of dark allegations cast a long shadow on his legacy, allegations that exposed a disturbing contrast between the celebrated athlete and the man behind the scenes. In 2019, troubling accusations surfaced from his former partner, Shilan Waiwa, who alleged years of physical and emotional abuse. Waiwa claimed Penn had a history of violent behavior that included incidents of choking and threats to kill her during their tumultuous relationship. Court documents revealed deeply unsettling details, instances of verbal degradation, physical intimidation, and alleged drug-fueled rages that left her and their children terrified. Her allegations also painted a picture of a man struggling with severe substance abuse issues, which reportedly fueled his erratic and dangerous outbursts. Waiwa sought a restraining order, stating she feared for her safety and that of their children. These revelations shocked fans who had celebrated him as a fighter but knew little of his personal struggles. The contrast between his legendary career and the allegations was stark, reminding many that success in the spotlight can conceal troubling realities. As his reputation unraveled, questions emerged about how long those closest to him had ignored the warning signs. Number 3. Tim Hague's death after a fight. Tim Hague, widely known as the Thrashing Machine, earned respect in the MMA world for his toughness and relentless spirit. As a former UFC heavyweight, he faced some of the most dangerous competitors in the sport, building a reputation for never backing down. Though his UFC career was relatively short-lived, his resilience defined his time in the octagon, impressing fans with his ability to withstand punishment and keep moving forward. He also worked as a school teacher, beloved by students and colleagues for his kindness, humility, and dedication. A side of him many outside the cage never got to see. That trademark resilience, however, took a devastating toll in 2017 when Hague transitioned to professional boxing. In a match against Adam Braidwood in Edmonton, Canada, the punishment his body endured reached a tragic breaking point. Hague was knocked down repeatedly before a final blow rendered him unconscious. The fight's referee faced immediate criticism for allowing it to continue despite the visible dangers. Observers also questioned the medical clearance process that allowed Hague, who had suffered multiple previous knockouts, to compete. He was rushed to the hospital but tragically succumbed to a brain hemorrhage 2 days later. His death reignited urgent debates surrounding the safety protocols in combat sports. Questions arose about the match's officiating and the cumulative effects of Hague's fighting career, which had included numerous knockouts in MMA and boxing. Tim Hague's passing served as a grim reminder of the extraordinary risks fighters take every time they step into the ring. Number 4, Spencer Fisher's brain damage. Spencer Fisher was a staple of the UFC lightweight division, beloved by fans for his crowd-pleasing style and relentless approach. Known for turning fights into thrilling spectacles, Fisher never shied away from all-out wars in the octagon. His battles against the likes of Sam Stout and Thiago Alves were etched into the memories of UFC fans, cementing his place as a gritty, action-forward competitor. He was the kind of fighter who wore his heart on his sleeve, always pressing forward no matter the cost. But behind the applause lay a silent, growing cost that would change his life forever. Years after his retirement, the damage from those battles began to surface in heartbreaking ways. Fisher revealed he was suffering from severe brain damage due to repeated head trauma. His symptoms included memory loss, mood swings, tremors, and impaired cognitive function. Friends and family noted how drastically his personality had shifted, and even simple interactions became emotionally fraught. Once a lively and fearless presence, Fisher now struggled with tasks as simple as remembering appointments or holding a steady hand. The ramifications went beyond his physical health, impacting his ability to work and support his family, adding financial strain to an already emotional toll.
Fisher's case brought renewed attention to the long-term health risks facing fighters in high-contact sports. While fans relished his wars inside the cage, his plight served as a stark reminder that the price of entertainment can be devastatingly personal. Number 5. Mark Kerr's drug addiction. Mark Kerr wasn't just a competitor. He was a force of nature in the early days of mixed martial arts. Nicknamed the Smashing Machine, Kerr's dominance in the heavyweight division was unmatched. His combination of raw strength, grappling prowess, and an intimidating presence earned him victories in organizations like the UFC and Pride, showcasing MMA at its most brutal and raw. But as his star rose, so did the hidden struggles that would eventually define his life. The toll of competing at such a grueling level became overwhelming. Chronic injuries from relentless fights led Kerr to rely heavily on painkillers. What began as medical support became a vicious cycle of dependency. His addiction extended beyond pain management, and substance use became a means to escape the mounting pressures of being an early MMA icon. The documentary The Smashing Machine exposed the darker side of Kerr's story, offering raw glimpses into how his career and life spiraled out of control. Attempts at recovery were heartbreakingly marked by setbacks and strain on personal relationships. Kerr's story highlights the brutal consequences of a sport that, during his era, lacked safety nets for its fighters. His struggles are a stark reminder of the human cost behind athletic glory. Number 6. Cain Velasquez's vigilante shooting. Cain Velasquez's dominant run as a UFC heavyweight champion made him a household name in the sport. Known for his calm demeanor outside the cage and his relentless style inside it, he carried an aura of control and discipline. But in February 2022, that image shattered as Velasquez was arrested on charges of attempted murder. The former champion had reportedly targeted Harry Goularte, a man accused of sexually abusing a young family member, in a vigilante act that shook both the MMA world and the public. According to court documents, Velasquez allegedly pursued Goularte in a high-speed car chase through the streets of San Jose, California. During the pursuit, Velasquez fired multiple shots into the vehicle, injuring Goularte's stepfather, Paul Bender. The incident unfolded just days after Goularte, facing his own legal troubles, was released on bail, a decision that reportedly left Velasquez enraged and desperate. The legal fallout was swift and severe. Velasquez faced multiple felony charges, including attempted murder, and his once impeccable public image became the focus of heated debates. Some sympathized with his actions, understanding the emotional pain that motivated him, while others condemned the violence. The case remains a haunting example of rage overriding reason. Number 7.
Travis Fulton's criminal charges and suicide. Travis Fulton was a name synonymous with endurance in mixed martial arts. With more than 300 recorded fights, his career stood as a testament to relentless participation and grit. His nickname, Iron Man, reflected a fighter who rarely stepped away from competition, even as the sport evolved around him. Yet, despite such remarkable longevity, Fulton's achievements in the cage would later be eclipsed by events far removed from MMA. In 2021, Fulton's name resurfaced, not for his fighting accomplishments, but for deeply disturbing allegations. Arrested on charges of possessing child pornography and multiple counts of sexual abuse, his actions shocked the MMA community and the public. The severity of the accusations, paired with the nature of the evidence, eradicated any admiration tied to his record-setting career. The charges laid bare a stark and troubling reality, one that left fans and former peers questioning the man they thought they knew. Months after his arrest, Fulton took his own life while in custody, ending a story that had already turned from remarkable to tragic. His death closed the chapter on a grim and unsettling saga, a reminder of how public accolades can conceal private darkness, leaving legacies forever stained. Number 8. Diego Sanchez's relationship with Joshua Fabia. Diego Sanchez carved out a lasting legacy in the UFC with his relentless fighting style and distinctive personality. From grueling wars in the Octagon to his wide-eyed, intense energy, Sanchez was a fan favorite and one of the sport's most beloved competitors. But as his career progressed, his partnership with Joshua Fabia, a self-described guru, took center stage, and for all the wrong reasons. Fabia quickly became a prominent figure in Sanchez's life, presenting himself as a coach, mentor, and even spiritual guide. His influence was undeniable, but it came with controversy. Fabia's unconventional training practices, ranging from blindfolded sparring to bizarre exercises where Sanchez was hung upside down and struck repeatedly, drew widespread criticism. These public displays not only raised serious safety concerns, but also subjected Sanchez to ridicule, tarnishing his image in the MMA community. The damage extended beyond training. Under Fabia's guidance, Sanchez's professional career began to suffer. Their demands for greater control over Sanchez's fights, coupled with Fabia's inflammatory interviews, led to a contentious split from the UFC. After their fallout, Sanchez publicly accused Fabia of manipulation and exploitation, reflecting the toll the relationship had taken both on his career and personal judgment. Sanchez's partnership with Fabia serves as a stark warning about the dangers of misplaced trust. In a sport and industry that demand resilience, surrounding oneself with the right influences is as crucial as any training regimen. Number 9. Rousimar Palhares' repeated submissions. Rousimar Palhares built a reputation as a fearsome submission specialist, especially with his devastating leg locks that struck terror into opponents. His technical proficiency in grappling was undeniable, earning him quick finishes and the attention of fans and promotions alike. But his career became synonymous with controversy due to a disturbing pattern. Palhares repeatedly held submission holds long after opponents tapped or referees intervened.
One early incident occurred at UFC 111 when Palhares latched on to a knee bar against Tomasz Drval. Despite Drval's visible tap and the referee stepping in, Palhares delayed releasing the hold, causing outrage among fans and critics. This set the tone for his problematic tendencies. But it was the fight against Mike Pierce at UFC Fight Night 29 that marked his downfall. Palhares applied a heel hook that Pierce immediately tapped to, yet once again he held the submission too long, injuring Pierce's knee. For this blatant disregard for safety, Palhares was promptly cut from the UFC. Though he continued fighting in promotions like WSOF, his behavior persisted. A controversial fight against Jake Shields saw him prolong another submission, further solidifying his infamy. Palhares' inability to temper his aggression ultimately overshadowed his skill, serving as a cautionary tale about recklessness in combat sports.
Number 10. Evan Tanner's mysterious desert death. Evan Tanner was more than a UFC middleweight champion. He was a philosophical wanderer in an intense sport. Tanner carried an unusual perspective, often reflecting on the deeper questions of life rather than just the physical challenges of the octagon. His fans admired not only his accomplishments in fighting, but also his introspective outlook, which made him stand out among his peers. Tanner's approach to life was unorthodox, viewing his MMA career as part of a broader personal journey rather than a singular pursuit of glory. In 2008,
Tanner made headlines for reasons no one expected. He embarked on a solo camping trip into the vast California desert, reportedly seeking clarity and peace. Days later, his body was discovered by authorities in the unforgiving terrain, sparking shock and sorrow in the MMA community. Reports suggested he succumbed to heat exposure after his motorcycle ran out of fuel, but the sparse details surrounding his final moments left a lingering sense of mystery. His passing highlighted the fragility of even the most resilient.
Tanner openly battled addiction and depression throughout his life, which shaped his philosophy and connected deeply with fans. His legacy transcends fighting. It's a poignant reminder of life's unpredictability and the strength hidden in human vulnerability. The stories behind these fighters reveal the weight of their personal struggles, often hidden beneath their success in the octagon. Each narrative is a stark reminder that human lives extend far beyond athletic achievement, intertwining resilience with darkness. As Tim Healy stated, these are complicated stories, and our goal is to really be accurate and authentic in the way that we tell these stories. From War Machine's unchecked rage to the manipulation faced by Diego Sanchez, the complexity of these lives resists simple conclusions. Reflect on these truths and consider how empathy and awareness can bring deeper meaning to such stories.